If you just look at this life carefully, you will see that there's incredible intelligence around us in everything. In the leaves, in the trees, in the water, in the bees. I mean, just look at life carefully. You will see this is an incredible life beyond anything the mind can conceive. In this video, we're going to talk about spirituality, what it means to be spiritual, some common misconceptions when it comes to this topic and this word, because it's been fairly corrupted, and related to religion and a few other things. I'm just going to kind of let the Spirit guide me as I create this video and my other videos. They're not scripted. We're just going to go deep from the connection that I have with Spirit. So what does it mean to be spiritual? To be spiritual basically means to know, to be in touch with the source of your existence, or in other words, to be in touch with something beyond the physical. There is an energy that keeps this creation going. See, you may have a million stories going on in your mind right now. You may have a bunch of different problems, or maybe your life is going great, but you still have stories playing in the mind. Everybody has a different story playing in their mind, but life remains the same for everybody. The story playing in your mind may be different from the story playing in someone else's mind, but the entire universe is still working in perfect cyclical motion. Everything is working in perfect rhythm. Literally everything. The only thing that causes turmoil in our lives is our own minds. So spirituality is to seek that which is the source of your existence, the foundation of your existence, which is beyond the stories that are playing in the mind. This is really what it comes down to understanding this life, is to realizing that the stories playing in your mind are not life. We often get mixed up, and we think that the story playing in our mind, or the things that are happening in our life circumstances, life situations, and the events that take place, we think this is life, this is my life. But like I said, life is the same for everyone. Life just is. The difference, or the thing that gets people confused, is just the mind. So spirituality is about seeking that which is beyond the mind, which is the source of your existence. Religion is basically belief systems, and religion causes division. Now, it can be very helpful in the individual's life if somebody's religious, say Christian or Muslim, and they follow their religion wholeheartedly, then they could see major transformation. They could see joy, happiness, and peace in their life. But I'm speaking to people who don't want to cling to a belief system just to feel comfortable for a temporary amount of time. I want to help people realize the truth of their existence, their true nature, which is beyond belief systems, which is beyond anything written in a book or scripture. See, the scriptures that are part of these religions, or that are the basis and the foundation of these religions, they are actually pointing you to the truth, which is yourself. But instead of looking at what they're pointing at, we're looking at their finger. So we get caught up in the religion instead of looking at what the book or the scripture is pointing at. We get caught up in the book, in other words, instead of looking at what the book is pointing at, which is you. All books came from human beings. All books came from the mind. And even the physical copies of the book came from nature, came from trees. You know, you had to make the paper, you had to You had to make the ink. Everything came from nature, everything came from the mind. So the book is pointing you back to the source. But instead of looking at the source, you are looking at the book. So spirituality is even about putting the books away and challenging your belief systems, just being with yourself. And this is why meditation too. This is why meditation and yoga are very prominent practices nowadays for people who are on a spiritual path, because it's about seeking within yourself instead of looking at a book or this or that. Yoga, physical yoga, it's called hatha yoga, is about using your body to attain higher possibilities in this life within yourself, not so much about learning some new information, because learning new information, even that is not going to enhance your life. The new information, the spiritual information, it is also pointing you to something greater. So don't get caught up on the information, don't get caught up on the words, don't get caught up on the speech, don't get caught up in the books. Instead, see what the books are pointing at, see what the information is pointing at. Because if there's information, that information, there's a huge bee flying around me. If there's information, okay. If there's information, that information had to have come from somewhere. Right? This is what we call God, the divine, the universe, or in other words, intelligence. If you just look at this life carefully, you will see that there's incredible intelligence around us in everything. In the leaves, in the trees, in the water, in the bees. I mean, just look at life carefully. You will see this is an incredible life beyond anything the mind can conceive. This is truly an incredible experience, especially if you're a human being. Now you may ask, what about all the suffering that happens in the world? Well, this is what people like you and I are here to do, to help reduce the amount of suffering and bring joy and love into people's lives. And the suffering is there because of duality. So we could get into a lot of different topics here, but let's just briefly cover duality. So you may already know duality, which is two sides to the same coin, basically different degrees of the same thing. You have hot and cold, up and down, light and dark, opposites, but they also come from the same thing. So to wrap this all up, spirituality is basically going from duality, from opposites, from seeing two, to coming back to oneness, realizing that everything is one. This is why we do this. We put our hands together and we do namaste, because putting your hands together is putting the two dualities, the two polarities together back into one. So when I do this and I bow to you, this means that I am bowing to the source that is within you, the source of your existence, to God, to the divine within you. I'm putting my likes and my dislikes to the side. I'm putting them together into one. I'm not bowing down to your personality or your character or your body or your looks or what I like or what I dislike in you. I'm bowing down to everything beyond, or to that which is beyond that, the source of your life. So spirituality is about seeking to know the source of your existence, who you truly are on a deeper level, beyond your belief systems and your opinions and your prejudice, your judgments, your past conditioning. Now, I'm not saying these things are wrong. We all have to go through this process of overcoming these things and overcoming our past conditioning, because our minds have been highly conditioned and programmed through our past experiences. And we have to do certain things to overcome this past programming. This is why teachers come along and give you methods and tools. That way you can use these methods and these tools to help unravel the mess that you're in and come back to seeing life the way it is, which is beyond the duality. Now, of course, we live in a world of duality and we have to accept that. But it's extremely important that we enhance our perception to a point where we can see beyond the duality. And we can see that all is truly one. This is even what Jesus taught. He said, me and my Father are one. And he said, you and I are one. Everything is one. It's all the same. But becoming connected to the source of your existence, meaning becoming spiritual. You know, they use the word spirit as the word that talks about everything basically in existence comes from spirit. Or in the Bible, they use the word spirit or spirits. But the one spirit is the same. If you come back to that spirit, if you come back to that source, which is beyond the physical, your life will become enhanced in an unlimited amount of ways that you currently can't even imagine. So, with that being said, I hope you gained value from this video. And yeah, I'll go ahead and cut it off. I don't want to make it too long, so I will see you in the next one. Much peace and love.